Hi, Ankit.
Hi, Gayatri.
I'll just add everyone else as well. Hi, Anshuman.
Hi Gayatri, hi Ankit.
Hi, Anshuman.
Just waiting for Pallavi to join and then we begin.
Sure.
Hi everyone.
Hi, Pallavi.
Hello, Pallavi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Good evening, rather. How is everyone doing?
We are having
Oh,
a
we
good day.
Right. So I'll just wait for like a minute for everyone to join. We have about 230 people viewing us, but I'll just give it like a minute more so that we have people who can benefit from the session. And then I'll just go into introducing everyone and then we'll just quickly jump into the session.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just quickly take a second to introduce the panel today. We have Ankit and Pallavi who have been, actually this session is for the HECB case study challenge. Let me begin by that. And there have been a lot of questions that students have been flooding in on our social media platforms to just clarify technical details. So this live session that we are hosting is specifically to clarify all the technical questions that we've been getting on the case. We have Pallavi and Ankit who have been behind creating the case for us, and they will be answering some of these questions for students. We'll go by the questions one by one. And Anshuman, who is our partner with Grad Partners, who has been helping us with the case study challenge, he will be taking up any questions around registration and last dates and all of those things. So I'll just move in quickly into some of the questions. So just a heads up, guys, today is the last day for registration. So we just want you to quickly register, but you guys can send in your cases before the 19th. After registration, we'll be entering the team evaluation phase, which will be from the 16th to the 22nd. So it will be great if you can still go ahead and register. And if you want to understand more about where you can register, there are two platforms. You can either go to the HCCB website to register, and that will direct you to Grad Partners, or you can directly go to Grad Partners. Now, this is available on the Grad Partners social media handles or the HCCB social media handles. So the registration process is really simple and it won't take you time. So, and there is a great prize money at the end of it. So we really urge all of you to participate. We already have about 15,000 students who have participated. So the numbers are extremely overwhelming, but we really hope that a lot more of you can join in. I'll just begin by the first question. This is by Nishant, and Ankit, I'd like you to take this. Why are the numbers not adding up to 100% in table 2?
All right. Table 2 consists of all the channels that we have in beverage industry. So these channels will not add because there are other smaller channels as well. There's modern trade, there's wholesale, then there are many ancillary channels as well. So these will not add up to 100. But having said that, these are the three most important channels for us in beverage industry. So our primary focus and resources go into strategizing on these channels.
Perfect, perfect. Okay. The next question is by someone called Hardik. So Hardik asks, please help us to understand last three columns of table 3, which mentions cost of activation, minimum threshold for activation, and sale percentage. Pallavi, would you like to take this for us?
Yes, sure. Before going for that, I was just skimming all the questions that was there. So this question has come up several times, so I will take some time to explain this. So basically, activation, why do we do that? So you know that HBL beverages is a impulse generation business. So basically, any consumer buys the product only when he feels the impulse of that buying the product. So basically, activation helps in doing that. So if you see the last three columns, which says about cost of activation, minimum threshold for activation, and sales percentage increase. So basically, this table helps you to understand what will be the impact of that activation on the sales increase. So if you say, like, if you see the first row of the table, which is grocery urban. So we are saying that the cost of activation in grocery is 500 rupees and the sales increase is 15%. So we are saying that if we invest 500 rupees in grocery urban in an outlet, we will get 15% increase. But there is also a caveat that it is saying that it should be, you should also qualify with the minimum activation cost. So here, if you see in the first row, it is also saying that the minimum threshold for activation is 500 rupees. It means that if you invest in an outlet only 450 rupees, it will not generate any impact on the sales. It will not be in terms of, like, if you 500 is 15%, 450 will be proportionately, it will impact the sales. It is saying that if you invest 450 rupees, percentage increase in sales will go to 0%. So there will be no impact. So at least whatever is the threshold, you have to invest, and accordingly, proportionately, there will be percentage increase. Just if you see the convenience urban line, which is the third row. So it is saying that if you invest 10,000 rupees, it will give you 10% increase in the sales. But there is a minimum threshold of 30,000. This means that if you invest only 10,000 rupees, you will not get any impact on the sales increase. So you have to at least invest 30,000, and accordingly you will get the percentage increase. Hope it's clear. If it is not clear, you can also write in the comments, and then we can make it more clear. But I think it might be clear.
Thank you, Pallavi, for answering that in such great detail. But for everyone, Hardik, if you're on this live and anyone who has a similar query, we have a post on Facebook, Instagram, and on LinkedIn. So you can write this question in detail, and we will get either Pallavi or Ankit or anyone from the HCCB team to answer this for you, so that you have more clarity. So please feel free, any one of you on this live session, please feel free to drop in some of the questions that we are not able to answer today on the comment section on any of our social media handles, and we are sure to get back to you with an answer. Moving on, Purvi asks, can you please confirm on the size of the industry pre-pandemic revenue levels for HCL? Pallavi, you want me to go question by question for this? Because I think Purvi is asking two questions here. So do you want to answer the first question and then go to the next question?
So you tell me all the three questions, and I will answer simultaneously. So you can tell me.
I'll just repeat this for everyone's convenience. Can you please confirm on the size of the industry, pre-pandemic revenue levels for HCL? Further, for the post-pandemic revenue for HCL, can we make assumptions based on secondary and primary research levels?
Okay. So first is, what is the size of the industry? So in the case study, it is mentioned it is 28,000 crores. It is excluding water. So secondly, what is the revenue level of HBL? So there are two ways. So one is, you can calculate what is the revenue from the table 3 that is given. So you have outlet coverage, you have this per month, per outlet sales data. So by there also you can calculate that what is the revenue of HBL. So this is first method. Secondly, we are also saying that 28,000 crore is the overall industry size, and 52% share is of HBL. So you can also calculate from there that what is the size of HBL. Third question was that for post-pandemic revenue of HBL, if you can take some assumptions. So we are fine with any of the assumptions. Just that when you are sharing the solution to us, do mention that what assumption you have taken in the slide, so that it will be helpful for us and we can go through the solution in an easy manner. That what you have thought of.
Got it. Got it. Moving on, Ankit, it would be great if you can take up the next question for us. What are the percentages given with respect to sales and with respect to outlets?
I'm sorry.
table two.
Okay.
So
In table two, it is salience of sales. So for example, if you see a number of 25%, it means that, and it is against grocery channel, it means grocery channel contributes to 25% of overall business. So it is the sales value.
Okay, got it. I'll just move on to the next question. Anveshika Pandey asks, in table 3, does the market include bottled water or does not include bottled water? Should we add it to our table? Pallavi.
So it is exclusive of bottled water. So it is only CSP and juice category that we are talking about. It is exclusive of water.
Okay. In the year 2020, HCL was looking at 15% revenue growth. Does the year 2020 mean calendar year 2020 or financial year 2020?
For any of the calculations, if it is required, you can consider it as calendar year.
Okay, calendar year.
From January to December, you can consider that. Yes.
Okay. The next question, again by Anveshika itself, is the growth in at-home based sub-occasions is provided. Does this mean annual growth over sequential growth?
Yeah, this is
Ankit,
yeah,
you want to take this?
yeah. Thanks, Pallavi. Yes, this is annual growth. So if, for example, in the year 2020, if and in the month of say September, you've done 100 rupees. So we are talking about growth over that 100. So if we are in September 2021, we are talking about the growth over September 2020. So it's annual. It's growth over last year, and not sequential.
Okay. Moving on to the fourth question, the activation factors mentioned is to be used as multiplicative to the cost of acquiring. Ankit, would you be taking this up, or Pallavi?
Gayatri, I'll be taking that question.
Okay.
So basically, if you see in the third table, it is mentioned that what is competition pressure. So the factor mentions that higher the factor, higher is the competition in that area, and lower is the effectiveness of the budget. And similarly, this is related to effectiveness of the activation budget. So this competition pressure does not have any impact on the acquisition thing. So acquisition cost, whatever is mentioned for each of the segments, you have to consider that factor only, irrespective of the competition factor. Competition factor will figure in only in terms of activation budget.
Got it. The next question is by a group from Prashant, Umang, and Moksh. Their question is qualitative inputs on the kind of packs to be focused on in which segment. Can you please clarify what does the word packs and segment refer to in this context?
Sure, I'll take that. So packs are the SKUs. Packs are, for example, in beverages, you have a 200 ml pack, a 300 ml pack, or a 1 liter pack, or a 2.25 liter party pack. So these are all called packs. And segments over here mean occasions. Occasions are immediate consumption occasion, on the go occasion, and future consumption occasion. So these three occasions are segments over here. So we have elaborated on each of these segments, each of these occasions in the case study.
Okay, thank you, Ankit. I'll move to Sapan's question, and I think Pallavi, would you like to go for it? I'll just read out the
Yeah.
question. What is the difference between the fourth and the fifth question? The term segments is not clearly defined.
Um,
Okay, so there is a typo error in the case. This minute I'll just explain that. So if you will see fourth question, it says what is the best way to use the available acquisition budget to maximize the revenue. Now the fifth question is the elaboration of the process by which you have to come up with the fourth question answer. So it is not a fifth question, it is basically an elaboration of the process that you have to take to answer the fourth question.
Got it.
it's for the students to understand question number 4 better.
Okay. I'll move to the next question. This is a little bit of a longer question, Ankit. This is regarding the HECB case study competition. We have a confusion between the grocery and the convenience category. Table 2 highlights the convenience category as a general trade store and grocery as a modern trade store, whereas the numbers in the third table seem to convey otherwise. Can you please confirm if the convenience store is GT or MT?
So convenience stores is GT. So this case study is on GT, general trade. So everything is general trade over here. Even table 3, whatever we are talking about here is general trade, pertains to general trade only.
Okay. Moving on, I'll be taking up Ratnesh's question. Ratnesh asks, the question third of the case study says, study competitive activities and recommended strategies to counter them. So for the competition analysis, can we use real brands like Pepsi and other beverages?
Yeah, why not? You're free to, you're free to assume things, and you are free to Google up and see who the players are in beverage industry. There are many, and there are many players at local levels, various geographies spread across the country. So I think you should do that. It will help you.
Awesome. Okay. Pallavi, this question is for you. In table 3, first 3 columns talk about the outlets coverage. Available outlets / industry coverage, HBL coverage. Can you please elaborate?
Yeah, okay. So basically, if you'll see 3 columns: available outlet, industry coverage, and HBL coverage. So it is talking about the number of outlets. So when we say available outlet, so this is basically we are saying about the whole FMCG universe. So if you add up all the numbers, it is coming as 191.7. So it is basically 19 million outlets or 192 lakh outlets. We are saying that it is there in the FMCG universe. Out of that, when we say industry coverage, so it is talking about the NARTD industry coverage. So out of 192 lakh outlets, so we are saying that 91 lakh outlets are of NARTD universe and NARTD industry universe. And out of those 92 outlets, HBL has 29 outlets, 29 lakh outlets. It is present in 29 lakh outlets. So if you see, it is subset of the whole universe. So HBL is the subset of the NARTD universe, and NARTD universe is the subset of the FMCG universe. So by doing the calculation, it will help you do that accordingly. That when you have to calculate the cost of the acquisition, how many outlets can we acquire and all. So for that, you can see that what are the remaining outlets apart from HP, and then you can do the calculation.
Okay. Thank you, Pallavi. So, guys, if you notice, we had also put up an Instagram story recently about you dropping in some questions for the panelists. So, I'm just going to be diving into the question we received on our Ask Me Anything, and I'll just go to that. Ankit, I'll direct this to you. In acquisition, do we need to work on distribution or only focus on acquisition strategies?
Oh, acquisition is different from distribution. So acquisition is acquisition of outlets which sell some other brand beverages. So it's like gaining entry in those outlets. So acquisition is different from distribution. So it's
Okay.
acquisition is the answer. Yeah.
Okay. And I think we recently also received a question on Instagram Live, which was asking about the difference between activation and acquisition.
Between activation.
Activation and acquisition, yeah.
Oh, so both are different concepts. Acquisition is acquiring an outlet in the sense you get into a commercial relationship with the retailer and you start selling your products to the retailer. You make your products available over there. So that's the process of acquisition. And what activation means is, decking up the outlets to increase point of sale, to increase sales, counter sales, to trigger purchase for the shoppers and the consumers who visit the store. So activation is a whole it's a different game. Activation is about taking up the outlet as per the picture of success. Merchandising is the simplest way of telling that how to activate an outlet. So a well merchandised, a well executed outlet is a well activated outlet. So activation is different, acquisition is totally different.
Okay.
So adding to Ankit's point, Gayatri, adding to Ankit's point, so in the case study, so if you see, so it also mentions about the execution elements. So like dealer board, cooler branding, counter branding. So all these things comes under activation, which Ankit was explaining. So you will get a reference that when you go in an outlet, if you see a banner, that is an activation element, which I was talking about, that it helps to increase to generate the impulse. Then only we feel that we want to drink HBL beverages, and then we buy and we drink it. So all these comes under the activation element. They can go through the case study. So the reference is already there in the case study.
Right. Um, I'll move into the next question. It says table C mentions HCL while the case mentions HBL. Are these the same?
Same, sorry.
No, again it is a typo error. It is HBL beverages only.
Okay.
And we have rectified that. So like we uploaded the latest case study after rectifying the typo.
Okay, so I think that was the error which has been rectified, is what the team tells me. So it is HBL.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the next question, and this is for you, Ankit. Can we recommend new products, or do we have to consider the existing product only and formulate a strategy for increasing revenue?
No, you definitely can. You definitely should. I mean, if you Google up and see what emerging trends are, the world is changing. We're living in new normal. Consumer habits are changing. The way people are buying beverages or FMCG is changing. So definitely you need to be in times. You have to live in the times. So definitely you should recommend, if you find a good idea. So any organization, a successful FMCG organization, has a robust innovation pipeline. So we would be glad to see if you can recommend some great products, great subcategories. So why not? Please do so.
Right. The last question, no, actually, one of the questions that is next on my sheet is for Pallavi. As it's tough to get exact financials from a private company, so when you were talking about 2 or 3% of the turnover, what was that turnover of 52% of 28,000 crores?
Yeah, so absolutely right. So basically, I was talking about in the beginning itself. So there are two methodologies. So one thing is that you can take 28,000, 52% is the market share, and 28,000 is the industry size. So from there, you can calculate the turnover of HBL, and you can take 2% of that turnover for the activation budget that we were talking about. So this was one. Secondly, if you also have to calculate HBL revenue, you can calculate from the table that you have the HBL outlet coverage and also the sales per outlet per month. So you can also calculate the turnover from there as well. And for that, 2% is activation budget.
Okay, thanks, Pallavi. I'm just checking the LinkedIn page as well while we speak. There are some questions on LinkedIn as well. It says, is the activation budget only for newly acquired outlets?
No, activation budget is for, so there are two things. One is for the existing outlets, which we are talking about the activation budget, and the acquisition cost is for completely new outlets. So both that costs are completely different. When you have to calculate, you have to make the strategy that how I should use my money to have maximum return on the revenue. So you have to take the acquisition budget separately, and you have to take the activation budget separately. So activation budget is for the existing outlets, which you are seeing here, and for the acquisition budget, new outlets acquirement. So that you can take the acquisition budget. So both the things considered separately, and we have also given the bifurcation. One is, I think, 2% is acquisition budget, 2% of turnover is activation budget, and 3% of turnover is acquisition budget. So basis that you can do the calculation. So consider both the things differently.
Right. Pallavi, Ankit, I will now be just jumping into a couple of questions. We do have a little bit of time. I'll just jump into some of the questions that we've been getting on our live right now.
Gayatri, I have one question that we have been receiving
Sure.
from the from the platform perspective. So the case mentions that we have to submit an elevator pitch. So students got confused that do we have to prepare a video? So just wanted Ankit and Pallavi to just elaborate more on that. That doesn't, like, the elevator pitch doesn't mean that there is a separate submission that we have to do. So I just want your opinion to be shared with the students on that.
Elevator speech. So I think Anuradha will be able to take care of. She'll be more able to handle the question. So I think we can answer the question on the page itself where you have got the question. So it can be answered there.
That's
there
right.
itself.
That's right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. One of the questions that Muskan is asking on the live is, what would come under business impact outlets?
The outlets which give the maximum bang for the buck are the ones which will create the maximum impact. So those are the ones which create the maximum business impact. So the entire purpose of Pallavi, sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
No, Ankit, you continue. So I will add in. I'll pitch in.
So the purpose of the project is to get the students to recommend the right strategy, because resources are always limited in corporate world, in business per se. So you have to put the resources you have to put the eggs in the right basket. So what those baskets are, what are the assumptions that you are making before deciding upon the basket is something which we are looking answers for. So that's what. Yes, Pallavi, you can have.
Adding to your point, Ankit, so basically when we say, just to give you a tip, that when we are asking about maximum business impact outlet, you can go to table 3 and you can take the list of the complete case study as well, because it will give you a few of the things that where or which channel or which town class, when we say urban and rural, which we should focus upon. So when we say maximum business impact of outlets, you should see, like Ankit was saying, that from where the return on the revenue is the highest. So either it is grocery urban, grocery rural, convenience urban, convenience rural, where we should put in money so that we can generate maximum amount of revenue from there, from the return from there. So basically you have to suggest that where we should put the money in, and where we should acquire new outlets, where we should put our activation budget to have maximum impact on the revenue. So table 3 will help you on that.
Got it, Pallavi. One other question that we got from Richa on the live was, can we do brand extensions? I think Ankit had answered this, right?
Yeah. Yes, we should. I mean, we are open to ideas. So assume whatever you can. It's an open world. We've not given you any framework, no guardrails. So please approach this case study with an open mind. We are HCC, we are HBL. We like good ideas, and we don't mind taking risks. We have a huge risk appetite. So we are open to new ideas, brand extensions, subcategories. Belch them out.
Okay. Someone with the handle May_Born asks, acquisition cost includes exactly what all things?
Basically opening a new outlet, when we say acquisition of a outlet, might be possible that the outlet is there and it is not selling the HBL products. So by acquiring, we are saying that now we have a business partnership with the retailer and he is also selling our product. So there are several things related to it. So the person who is going there, he is explaining them. Then once the retailer understands that he wants to get onboarded on the business, then we do a activation sort of thing. So there is minimum activation, but there is all these, whatever we say, that a person going explaining, so there are incentives for the team, so all these things comes under acquisition budget. So from end to end, for acquiring that single outlet so that he gets onboarded on the business itself. So all the cost, whatever is there, it will come under the acquisition cost. So here in that case, it is mentioned as a one number that this is the total amount that comes under that. So it completely covers end to end for onboarding that outlet in the business itself of HBL.
So
Ankit, you want to add?
So in simple terms, for example, all you students would be ordering food from either of the platforms, Zomato or Swiggy. So if you're ordering food from Zomato, I'm sure you would get a referral or an SMS from Swiggy about with a 100 rupee or 150 rupee coupon, which you can use when you order food from the competitor. So that's the acquisition cost for Swiggy to acquire a consumer from Zomato. So whenever you are dwelling on e-commerce, all these e-commerce companies have acquisition budgets for consumers. So likewise in brick and mortar, in FMCG, we have acquisition costs, what Pallavi was saying, or costs pertaining to training and development of team, training and development of also retailer. So all these are costs to get the retailer on board or the consumer on board.
So, Ankit, thanks a lot. I think, Anshuman, the next question might be for you. Where can I find the case study? I've registered for the competition, but I couldn't find the case study.
Yeah, so the case study is available in the user panel also. So if one has registered, they can go to their login, the user login once they log in, and after that they can find the option of download case study. And the team leader can also download from the opportunity page. So once they have registered for the case challenge, like the button also shows for the team leader on the main page itself that now you can download the case. So like the case has been available since the very first day.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for the clarification. I'll just take another 2 minutes to take up some few other questions and then we'll wrap it up. For everyone sending questions, please take out time to drop these questions on our Facebook handle or on our LinkedIn or Instagram pages. We will make sure to get back to you with a detailed explanation because right now time is a constraint. So we are just picking up questions at random. But please know that all your queries will be answered and you can put them up on our social media handle. Nick Sharma asks, can you please explain what will be the impact on sales if we invest more than the threshold on activation?
So okay, so I'll take that question. It is of table 3. Okay, so very good question. So I missed mentioning that when we are saying that, let's say first row itself, grocery urban, where we are saying that if you invest 500 rupees, you will get 500 rupees on activation. You will get 15% in sales increase. And also the minimum threshold amount is 500 rupees. So minimum threshold says if you go below 500, there will be no impact on the sales. So that is just that just tells you that you cannot invest below the threshold. Now, the other thing comes in that if I invest 500 rupees, it will give me 15% increase. So what if I invest 1000 rupees? Will the percentage increase in sales will also double? So if I invest 1,000 rupees in an outlet, will it give me 30% increase? So the answer is no. So in this case, if we are saying the minimum threshold, say if you go down, you will not get any impact. So the percentage increase will be 0. But if you increase from the cost of activation, then also the percentage increase in sales remains same. It will not increase. So if you go from 100 to 10,000, 500 rupees to 10,000, then also the increase in sales will all be 15% itself. Because the company has to also optimize it. Now you can invest any of them. You can also put 1 lakh in an outlet, but you know that if you can get the impact by investing only 500 rupees and you can get 50% increase, why will you invest 1 lakh in that? In that remaining 95,000, you can invest in other outlets for getting the increase, right? So that is why it is mentioned that invest this much and get this much increase. So more investment will not result in more increase.
Thank you, Pallavi. I'll just take up the last question now because we've already shot up our 30-minute segment. The last question that I'll be picking up is, in the competition, do we have to stick to the data provided in the PDF only, or can we use external data while coming to the solution of the problem?
We lost you for last 2 seconds.
Sure, I'll just repeat the question. In the competition, do we have to stick to the data provided in the PDF only, or can we use external data while coming to the solution to the problem?
Yeah, you can. You can use external data to approach the case study. Isn't it, Pallavi? What do you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, like we were talking about earlier, Ankit, that any assumptions that is welcome. So, if they think whatever they are taking the external data apart from the case study, do mention about all those things.
Yeah.
It will be very insightful.
I just got a request from our internal team to take up one more question. So, Pulkit Gupta asked, what type of activation is HBL doing in table 3? What type of activation is, I'll just repeat the question. What type of activation is HBL doing in table 3?
What type of activation that they are doing in table 3? So activation cost, what all things that it encompasses, they want to ask that. So if you see in the case study, so if you will see here all we were saying about the execution elements. So in a grocery shop, here few of the examples that they can go through the case study. So we have given the example of how executed outlet, activated outlet looks, and what all activation elements are there. So if we see in a normal scenario, if you go in a grocery outlet, if you will see that there is a board mentioning there which mentions Mahesh General Store, and if you can also see some HBL shots or someone drinking shot and all those things. So that is also an activation. You can see a rack where the beverages are placed. So that is also an activation part. You can see banner. You can see aerial hangers in which the beverages are hung up in the stores. So all these elements are basically activation elements. So we have given in the case study, they can go through that. The elements are there. So all these things comprises of the activation elements. And if you'll see in the case study, the fifth question asks about innovative activation ideas. So Ankit, I'll request you that can you just elaborate on the innovative activation ideas so that our students can just have an idea and they can suggest accordingly.
Yeah, sure. So activation is work of art and creativity. So the purpose of activation is to attract shopper and consumer attention and trigger purchase. So when you Google up, do your research, please give ideas from other industries. Maybe petrochem, or maybe lubricant, not petrochem, sorry, lubricant, or any industry which has a retail presence. I think you can borrow ideas from there and suggest. So just remember, as I said earlier, we are open to new ideas, and a lot happens out there in retail space, in FMCG and even outside FMCG. So do come with new element ideas. We as a HBL, we every year we organize a symposium for the entire organization to showcase new elements, and then we finalize the best elements for deployment the subsequent year. So it's part of our culture. It's part of our routine. So do come out with solutions around activation, new elements. Most welcome.
So thank you. And with this, I think we'll wrap up the session. Thank you, Pallavi, Ankit, and Ayushman for taking out time to answer each and every question in detail. I am still getting loaded with a lot of questions, and I'm super tempted to make you guys stay and get us to answer all of these, but I believe time is a constraint. So I'll repeat again, guys, please take out time and drop these questions on our Facebook handle, Instagram page, or LinkedIn. And we will surely get back to you with the answers. We are closing on registrations today. Today is 16th, and it's our last day of registration. But you can submit your cases before the 19th. Soon after the 16th, by till the 22nd, we will be entering the team evaluation phase. So please, we urge you to please participate and enter the case study competition, and we'll get back to you with a lot of answers that you dropped on the Instagram live after this. So please tune in to our pages, and do follow HCCB on all our social media handles, and do follow Grad Partners as well to stay tuned for every activity that's happening around case studies, around what we do in the industry, around our CSR initiatives, and working with HCCB and everything around that. So please do follow our social media handles. And once again, I'd just like to thank the panelists for taking out time to be with us today. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Gayatri. Thank you.
Thank you.